Hello, hello. Hello, Wajik. Welcome to the Native Language Cree class, LNCAO. Today we are starting Unit 2. So in this lesson we are going to be learning about nouns, and this will help you to understand the difference between English grammar and the native language. This will give you a sense of idea when we use English to translate, interpret into Ininiimowin language. Lesson 4 is noun. So here a noun is the same of a person, place, a thing, or an idea. And here we have a chart, an example chart. So the first one is person. Ininu. And so that will include family, teacher, characters, kids, players, an animal, cat, dog, wolf, fox, and a place at the bank, beach, forest, school, and store. Thing, air, computer, mile, plants, sleep. An idea, culture, peace, love, sympathy, and intelligence. And here we have types of nouns. So we will go through this chart. Types of nouns. First one, proper nouns. So this is specific names of people, places, or things. For example, Elias, Thunder Bay, Pepsi. Common nouns, general names for people, animal, places, or things. For example, dog, city, book, and park. Concrete nouns, nouns for things you can touch, see, hear, taste, or smell. For example, chair, dog, water. Abstract nouns for things you cannot see or touch. For example, love, happiness, knowledge. Countable nouns, nouns can be that can be counted and have singular and plural forms. Book, singular, books, plural. Uncountable nouns, nouns that cannot be counted and do not have a plural form. For example, water, sand, and information. Collective nouns, nouns for groups or collections of people, animals, or things. For example, a team, family, or flock. Compound nouns, nouns formed by combining two or more words. For example, cupcake, football, and raincoat. Possessive nouns that show ownership or possession. For example, Isaac's car, the cat's toy. And the last one, verbs ending in ing that act as nouns. For example, swimming, singing. Key question number 13. Come up with your own types of nouns and write the words in Roman orthography. So first one, proper nouns. Here I showed you the types of nouns and examples. For example, Elias, Thunder Bay, Pepsi. So on the first one, proper nouns, come up with your own. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 5 proper nouns, common nouns, concrete nouns, compound nouns, and possessive nouns. The main classes. The words of Ininiimowin language are grouped into different classes or parts of speech. The main classes are nouns, verbs, pronouns, and particles. Nouns are a basic part of speech found in all languages in the world. Nouns typically refer to persons, places, spirits, animals, plants, and physical objects in the world. Nouns are typically free words that answer the questions who and what. Most nouns are countable and can be either singular or plural. Nouns function as the subjects and objects of verbs. For example, and here is an example in the chart. Mosa giwa pamel napel. In English, the man saw a moose. The noun here is mosa, moose, and napel, the object, napel, and mosa. So the man and the moose. In lesson 5, we will learn about gender, animate and inanimate. The categories of subject and object are not nearly as obvious in the Ininiimowin language as they are in English. But it is clear that in the sentence there are two nouns in some kind of relationship with a verb. Nouns in the Ininiimowin language group into animate and inanimate genders or classes, dependent and independent groups. In addition, there are principal forms, that is, verbs used as nouns but keeping some of their verbal properties as well. In the Ininiimowin language, we have two different ways of saying bring it, to be brought to you, or passed to you. The language has a structural rule that divides all nouns into classes called gender. One gender is called animate, which is all living things, and some things we don't usually think of as living. And inanimate is non-living things. As we go through this lesson, we will learn more about inanimate and animate. Here we will practice saying animate and inanimate words. We will start with animate words. So listen carefully to these words. So all of these words are animate living things. Atim, Atem. Atem. Dog. Nitem. Nitem. My dog. Askich. Askich. Pale. Asigan. 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 Sock. Mahikan. Mahikan. Wolf. Wapask. Wapask. Polar bear. Nabel. Nabel. Man. Asini. Asini. Rock. Watakus. Watakus. Star. Napesis. Napesis. Boy. Amisk. Amisk. Beaver. Makeso. Makeso. Fox. Amakwan. Amakwan. Spoon. Amakwan. Wapos. Wapos. Rabbit. Mahikan. Mahikan. Wolf. Sumanus. Sumanus. Mistos. Mistos. Cow. Mistress-Gigan. Mistress-Gigan. Coveralls. Mistress-Gigan. Pico. 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 Picu. Gum. Resin. Tar. Waganagan. Waganagan. Tamarack. Uttapan. Uttapan. Car. Vehicle. Next we will do inanimate, non-living things. Uskat, Ministic, ministic, ministic. Island. Abtagahigan, abtagahigan. Key, key. Biminagan, biminagan. Airplane. Astutin, astutin. Hat. Tikanagan, tikanagan. Cradleboard. Masanahigan, masanahigan. Book. Aguf, aguf. Blanket. Chigahigan, chigahigan. Is axe. Baskisigan, baskisigan. Gun. Minihquagan, minihquagan. Is cup. Bakwanagamig, bakwanagamig. Tent. Bakwanagamig, tent. Apisquasamon, apisquasamon. Pillow. Jagged, jagged. Coat. Wias, wias. Meat. Muskison, muskison. Shoe. Muskison. Nippy, nippy, nippy. Pasiguahigan, pasiguahigan. Pasiguahigan. Tape or glue. Pasiguahigan, tape or glue. Debatchamoan, debatchamoan. Is story or news. Debatchamoan. Mystico waskahigan, mystico waskahigan. And that is log cabin. Here we did inanimate and inanimate, animate and inanimate words. So animate, we said all living things, and some things we don't usually think of living. On the inanimate chart, the list we did, so some stuff that are not, for instance, a skich in the animate list of words. A skich is pale, a sigan, sock, a sini, rock, a mekwan, spoon, Mr. Skigan, utaban, or some words we would not consider as living things. So nouns in the Ininiimowin group into two classes or genders, animate and inanimate. So we said all words for people, animals, spirits, and trees belong to animate class. Most non-living things belong to the inanimate class, but there are exceptions. For example, spoons, smoking pipes, and pails are animate. A few words vary in their animacy from one community to another, being in some communities animate and in others inanimate. Animate nouns have plurals which end with ak, ak, as in nabewak, men, while inanimate nouns have plurals which end in a, as in chimana, for boats. Because the animacy of a noun is not always predictable, the dictionary lists nouns with the following codes in order to show whether they are animate, inanimate. So NA, as we learned in the unit 1, NA is a noun, animate noun. NI is inanimate noun. And we also learned that with the dictionary. Ininiimowin words can have a variety of elements called prefixes and suffixes attached to them to signal different meanings. A prefix is an element attached to front of a basic word in order to add some kind of meaning. For example, Nijiman, my boat, has a prefix ni added in front of it, in front of the basic word, which is G-man. And here this prefix adds the meaning my. A suffix is an element attached to n of a basic word to add meaning. For example, G-mana, boats. So the suffix is a, which adds meaning more than one, plural. So a word can have both a prefix and suffix or more than one prefix, such as Nijimanana. Nijimanana are boats, which has the prefix ni and the suffixes inan, inan, meaning we, and the a more than one, plural. So together they are called inflections of the word. So here are some forms of the basic word. For example, she, sheep. And I'll go through a list here, list of examples. She, sheepak, ducks. She, sheepa, other ducks. Nishi, sheepim, my duck. Ushi, sheepima, his or her duck. So these are various forms of the word she, sheep, duck. So if you want to look this up, this noun, simple noun in the dictionary, you have to remove the prefixes and suffixes attached to it. So these are the examples. So you would have to just go under she, sheep. In the dictionary. Duck. So again, we will go through these examples again with nouns. So type of nouns. So person, animal, spirit, place, thing, idea. Types of nouns. So uskat, we said proper nouns. People, places, or things. Example, Elias, Thunder Bay, Pepsi. Those are proper nouns. Common nouns, so general names for people, animal, places, or things. Like, example, a dog, a city, a book, or park. Concrete nouns. Nouns for things you can touch, see, hear, taste, or smell. For example, chair, dog, water. Abstract nouns for things you cannot see or touch. Love, happiness, and knowledge. Again, countable nouns are that nouns that can be counted and have singular and plural forms. For example, a book is singular. Books are plural. Uncountable nouns. Nouns that cannot be counted and do not have a plural form. For example, water, sand, and information. Collective nouns. Nouns for groups or collections of people, animals, or things. For example, a team, family, or flock. Compound nouns. Nouns formed by combining two or more words. For example, cupcake, football, raincoat. Possessive nouns that show ownership or possession. For example, Isaac's car, the cat's toy. Gruents, verbs ending in ing that act as nouns. For example, swimming and singing. So again, we said the parts of speech. Word category, there was 4 parts in the dictionary. Part 1 was spelling. And we have an example here in the chart. Part 1, spelling, syllabic spelling. Part 2, Roman spelling. Part 3, parts of speech. English glossary. So part 1, BIP 1, is BIP 1 written in syllabics. BIP 1 is written in Roman spelling. Parts of speech, VII, which is a verb, inanimate, intransitive. And the English glossary is winter, be winter. So, key question 13, it says come up with your own types of nouns and write them in Roman spelling. The first one is proper nouns, common nouns, concrete nouns, compound nouns, possessive nouns. So the first one, the proper nouns, specific names of people, places, or things. So let's come up with 2. So put them in English and then into Roman writing. And that is key question 13. Again, we will do more examples in this lesson. Animate and inanimate. So we said that there are 2 different ways of saying bring it. To be brought to you or to be passed to you. So this is why one gender is called animate, which is all living things, and some things we don't usually think of as living. So we use the example here on the animate list that we went through. For instance, a skick, pail, a cine, rock, amekwan, spoon. And animate, inanimate is non-living things. And we went through some examples. We will go through some examples again of animate and inanimate. So here, animate is living things. So we will practice the ways of saying bring it. So to be brought to you or passed to you. And we will go through some examples. So animate, we would say beso for a living thing, beso. And beta for non-living, beso, beta. Beso panaskich, bring the pan. Beso atim, bring the dog. Beso Utapan. Beso Utapan. Bring the car. Beso Emakwan. Beso Emakwan. Now we will do inanimate. N-I for non-living things. Betawias. 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 Bring the meat. Beta Jigahigan. Beta Jigahigan. Bring the axe. Beta Muskison. Beta Muskison. Bring the shoe. Beta Akuf. Beta Akuf. Bring the blanket. Beso. Beso Asini. Beso Asini. This is animate. Beso Amisk. Beso Amisk. Beso Amisk. Beso Amisk. Beso Utapan. Beso Utapan. Beso Asigan. Beso Nitem. Beso Nitem. Beso Askich. Beso Askich. And more examples of inanimate. We would say Beta. Beta Astuten. Bring the hat. Beta Astuten. Beta Astuten. Beta Masinahigan. Beta Masinahigan. Bring the book. Beta Masinahigan. Beta Jagit. Beta Jagit. Beta Jagit. Beta maskisen. Beta maskisen. Beta maskisen. Bring the shoe. Beta nippy. Beta nippy. Beta nippy. Beta pasagwahigan. Beta pasagwahigan. Bring the tape or bring the glue. Beta abtagahigan. Beta abtagahigan. Bring the key. So those are examples for bring it. So in the Ininiimowin language, we have two different ways of saying bring it. We went through the examples. So this is how it is brought to you or passed to you. And some in the animate category is all living things, and some we don't usually think as living things. So peso and beta. For example, you would not say on the animate list, you would not say beta atim, but you would say peso atim. Another example, you would not say beta napel, but you would say peso ananapel. Or you would not say beta amisk, but you would say peso amisk. So for peso, you would not say peso astutin, but you would say beta astutin. Or you would not say peso tikinagan, but you would say beta tikinagan. Bring the cradle board. Same with a cup. Peso minikwagan, but you would say beta minikwagan. You would not say peso jagged, but you would say beta jagged. So these are examples for animate and inanimate. So a noun is the name of a person, place, a thing, or an idea. And there is an example chart that we looked at and examples: person, family, teacher, characters, kids, players, animals, cat, dog, wolf, fox, and a place, places, bank, beach, forest, school, store, and a thing, air, computer, mile, plants, sleep, and an idea, culture, peace, love, sympathy, and intelligence. So we're gonna be going through more examples as we go through the lesson of types of nouns and examples and assignments. So with again, you will find the contact information and the email on the front page, and hand in the assignments as you finish. So key question number 13 in the lesson is come up with your own types of nouns and write the nouns in Roman writing. We said that the words of Ininiimowin language are grouped into different classes or parts of speech. The main classes are nouns, verbs, pronouns, and particles. So, nouns typically refer to persons, places, spirits, animals, plants, and physical objects in the world. So they are typically typical free words that answer the questions who and what. Most nouns are countable and can be either singular or plural. So we went through some examples. Nouns function as the subjects and objects of verbs. So we said moswa, moswa, and napel. Moswa giwapamel napel. Napel giwapamel moswa. The man saw a moose. So here the nouns is the moose and man, napel. And the object again is napel and muswa, the man and moose. And that is it for today. Miigwech, and if you need to contact me, the hours are and all the information is in the study guide. So practice again with your chart, and we will go through the list of examples during class. And that is it for now. Miigwech, and I will see you again next class. Okay.